Hello folks, this is Mike, PC31, and as Brian, Embryonic Robot, and Varna Martini, Jack, both did Twofers recently. So there's quite a few threads going around at the moment, and some very good ones, and contests as well. So they put two together. So I want to do that today because there's two threads I've been meaning to do for a while now, and I'm a little bit late. And so I've just put those two together. First one is for Rob Walker, who's asked us to show 10 illustrated covers, so non-photographic album covers that we really like. And the other one is Mike Vinyl Spiral, Mike, who has asked us to name 5 bands that we didn't used to like, we went into, but we now get them, we now like them, kind of thing. So first one I'm going to do is for Rob Walker, the 10 illustrated covers. So first one I'm going to show is Pete Wiley, the band, the Mighty Wah. Pete Wiley is the main man, and I really like Pete Wiley's work actually. So this is A Word to the Wise Guy, and I've always been fascinated by this cover. And Pete Wiley comes from Liverpool, and this is an illustrator of the painting which Tony Vandals did. Latin Dies Nobilis Hadsi. No, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, what it actually means is God has given us this leisure, and that's basically the motto of Liverpool. So that's the motto. If you're in Liverpool Town Hall, it's inside there. But this is album. Which the single on this one was Come Back. But as I say, I've always been fascinated by that illustration, that piece of art. Yeah, Pete Wiley, his most famous single, I guess, would be Sinful, Story of the Blues. I'll say Comebacks on this one, but he's done better than this one, actually, but I like the artwork. So the second one I'm going to show is, I think, one of the best bits of artwork ever in punk album. And this one's got a fascinating story behind it, and it's The Ruts, The Crack, from 79, of course it is, 1979. It was their debut album on Virgin. And this is the fascinating one because Henry Rawlins of Black Flag, he loves this album. We love the Ruts. I think he actually played with them for a while as well. And with the band's permission, he went on a hunt to get the original artwork, which was about 4 foot by 4 foot. And it was the original artist, John Howard, recovered it from the offices of Virgin and took it to America, and he sold it to an art collector. And I think it hung in an apartment for about 30 years. And Henry Rollins tracked it down. And there's a great video actually on YouTube where you can see the original piece of art this came from. But this is a great album cover. Difficult to pick up, I guess, in this. But in the album cover, you've got the 4 Ruts themselves sitting on a sofa. But you've got John Peel with a bar of chocolate and a young lady. You've got Patrick Moore, who was an astronomer in the UK in about the 1970s. He was very famous. Jimmy Percy, Sham 69. Peter Cook, Dudley Moore. You've got Rat Scabies, Captain Sensible of the Damned, Jimi Hendrix. And there's various other figures you can pick out, but it's debatable kind of who they are. Keith Richards, possibly Charlie Watts, possibly. But it's a superb album cover and an absolutely fantastic album as well. So that's from 1979, the Ruts debut. So my third one is The Vapors, and this is Magnets, their second album from 1981. And this is, again, another fantastic illustration, because from a distance, it's an eye. From close up, it's absolutely millions and millions of little folks. And basically, it's an assassination attempt. And if you look at the top corner there, you can see the assassin with his gun. Hope you can see that. And in the middle, you can see the chaos and limousines surrounding people. It's a fascinating album cover. The artist for this was Martin Hanford, who did the Where's Wally illustrations, which you can really see from this. But yeah, the Vapors, second album. Vapors obviously well known for turning Japanese. I'm seeing them actually in December, so I'm looking forward to that. Complete change of genre from 1973, the fourth album of Nazareth. Always loved this album cover. Loud and Proud, Nazareth from Dunfermline in Scotland. What a fabulous cover that is. I think it's so striking whenever you see this in a record shop. Beautiful peacock. Next one is fourth album from 1966 of the Kinks. And this illustration always fascinates me. It always reminds me of Monty Python. I always think of Monty Python when I pull this one. Fantastic album. Sunny Afternoon. There's the big one on that one. But great album, and the cover, superb. Love that one. Next one is the third album from 1972 of Nick Drake, Pink Moon. Very, it was Michael Trevelick. Very Salvador Dali-esque, this one. And this is his third one, which was, I think, the first one where he had no backing musicians. It's very solo Nick Drake, who sadly passed when he was 26. But fascinating album illustration again. The Mighty War, my favourite album from them, The World is a Ghetto. What a fabulous cover that is. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's their fifth album from 1972. Yeah, The World is a Ghetto. And the illustrator on this one was Howard Miller. But Lee Oscar of the band actually came out with the concept. And I think also the colouring as well, the blue and black sort of like palette to give that kind of melancholy, bluesy nature kind of thing, but for a funky album. But so much going on. Great album cover. My favourite War album. Superb. Going back to a bit of punk. Reckless Eric, Stiff. This is his one from 1980, his third record on Stiff. And big smash. This came out, I think, as a double album and as a single album. This is the single album I've got. But big smash, yeah. And Whole Wide World was obviously his huge one. But amazing album cover. Very cartoony. One of my favourite bands, The Theatre of Hate. Westworld. So this is from 1981. Mick Jones of The Clash produced. And the illustrator on this one is Seymour Tone. Seymour Tone. There's a label there. Burning Rome Records. But fantastic album from Kurt Brandon of the Theatre of Hate, who was before Theatre of Hate, The Pack, then subsequently Spirit Destiny, but he still tours occasionally as the Theatre of Hate, and then also does tours as Spirit Destiny, and I saw them recently as well. And the final one I'm going to show is album from last year. Amazing illustration, Cooler Shaker. So this is Cooler Shaker's sixth album, as I say, from last year. And the beautiful illustrations on this one. Absolutely fantastic. And they extend all the way through to the gatefold, the labels, everything. But yeah, amazingly illustrated. So that's the 10 Full Robs thread. Really good thread, great idea. Now we're going to move to Mike Vinyl Spiral, who posed this thread question. Name 5 bands that you weren't into at first, so you didn't particularly like, and who you subsequently do. Well, my first one that has been mentioned before, actually, by certainly Embryonic Robot Brian, and it's Depeche Mode. When they were very, very lightweight with their first couple of singles, Can't Get Enough, etc., didn't like them at all, wasn't my cup of tea. But I think they developed into a really fantastic band. And I've got a lot of their later albums. Memento Mori, their last one, I bought that and I think it's a great album. Personal Jesus, there's just so many great live tracks that they've produced. And I think their live shows are absolutely superb. And I've got a few David Gahan solo albums as well, which equally are really great, sophisticated albums. Kind of which mix a bit of everything, guitars, keyboards, everything, which I feel the early Depeche Mode didn't enough. So certainly a band that I've come to really like. Bob Dylan. So Bob Dylan at first didn't get him at all. And I think the album that really got me into Bob Dylan, and I've got a lot of Bob Dylan records now, and there's a lot of Bob Dylan songs that I really, really like. But I think the listening experience that I went through to get Bob Dylan was on Concert for Bangladesh, George Harrison's, the box set. And there's a side there dedicated to Dylan, who does Just Like a Woman and various other major Dylan tracks. And I used to play that over, and that really broke me into Dylan. And since then, I get it. The Damned. I never got The Damned at first. I think I was so, from a punk point of view, I was so into the Clash, the Pistols, the Stranglers, in particular the Clash, that the Damn probably never gave an adequate chance to at the time. Since then, love the Damn, seen them, fantastic. Caught up with all the records now, and band I really enjoy, but I just didn't kind of quite get them at first. A band I've kind of didn't get into at first, then got, and I've gone off them again, I don't know if that's a loud mic, is Metallica. I didn't get into Metallica at all at first, just not my cup of tea, just a bit too shreddy, a bit too thrashy. Got into them, bought quite a lot of stuff. Still like the Black Album, but kind of I don't enjoy them so much now. I bought the last album and I didn't get much on that. I thought it was very predictable. The drums I thought were very, they felt very automatic, very quantized. Wasn't too keen on them. So I've drifted back away now from Metallica. I don't know if that's a loud mic. And the final one, maybe the biggest shock, because I've got everything of theirs now. Boxes and various things, everything you can imagine, and that's the Smiths. And I just didn't get the Smiths at first. I was into other bands in a big way, and I just kind of, I guess I didn't get Morrissey's antics. I didn't get the jangly guitar of Johnny Marr. I was into different styles of guitar playing, but I love the Smiths now. And I saw Morrissey recently, and I've got most of Morrissey's solo stuff. I got all the Smiths stuff. So they're probably the biggest shock for me where I've moved so far. Is I love the Smiths. And number 6, just an honorary mention, because it's a band that my dad used to, a person my dad absolutely used to love. Didn't get them at the time at all, but I think he's fantastic now, and that's Johnny Cash. So that's an interesting one. So okay, so that's a great thread from Rob, and I'll put a link, and a great thread from Mike as well, and I shall put another link, and speak again soon, folks. Okay.